From KOOP HD1 HD3 Hornsby, Austin, radio for people, not for profit, this is OutCast.
It's a beautiful day. Just being with you. It's all I can say. It's all I wanna do.
OutCast airs live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. from Austin, Texas, bringing you the latest in LGBTQ news and entertainment. You can find us on the web at outcastaustin.com as well as on Facebook, iTunes, and Twitter. Just search for OutCast Austin. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chase Martin, along with my co-host tonight, Bri Jenkins, and it is New Year's Day 2019. And tonight, our friends from Feast of Fun join us in the studio to talk about what they've been up to since their last visit here and what they have going on this week in Austin. All this and more tonight on OutCast. It is a beautiful day, a beautiful chilly day.
It's a little cold. Happy New Year.
Yay! We somehow survived 2018.
Somehow. And I
barely survived last night.
I had people over. We all left and I was like, I'm going to bed. It was 10 o'clock. And I was like, good night. So.
Oh, it was crazy downtown. I mean, I think I was at home before 2 because I left. I was like, it was getting really crazy. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah, no, I'm not a New Year's Eve sort of gal. Like I'm happy for New Year and those new beginnings and goals and intentions, but I also am not a fan of going out with that many, and I like people. It's just too many.
Well, the thing is, like it's like New Year's.
Y'all are messy.
New Year's and Halloween, they're like amateur hour. People who don't normally go out.
So if I see one more girl in a sequin dress with glitter eyeshadow, I'm going to lose it.
Oh, I saw so much glitter every time when somebody would try to give me a hug. I'm like, nope.
No, I need you to hose down first.
I know.
Before.
I don't want to get that. You can't get rid of that. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Like, I just have to burn the sheets when I'm done with them.
I mean, the whole house. There's no point in keeping any of it. Yeah, no. So. Happy New Year, but next year let's keep the sequins and glitter at home.
Yes.
Thank you.
2019.
I'm excited. I'm mostly excited because Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, yeah. She announced that she's running for 2020.
Although I did see this thing that Beto and Biden were thinking of running together.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, if Uncle Joe runs, he'd be like the oldest person to win.
Oh, I just can't wait till all the memes.
Listen, no one's ever going to be Barack Joe. Although I do love Beto, so I will let it go. But yeah, I'm still thinking, is America ready for our first female president is always the question. So maybe Elizabeth will do it.
Yeah. We've got
everyone
2
again.
Years.
Register to vote. Let's start this now.
And let's get it out of the way early.
I'm sure y'all are all still registered from last time, but in case it expires before then, let's just start this ball early.
And if you've moved,
if you've moved in the last 6 months,
make sure you update it.
But yeah, have you set any goals or intentions for this year?
No, I never even do that because I'm not going to set myself up for failure.
I'm such like my family calls me a witchy hippie. I'm like, I set intentions, which is like things like wishes, like things I want to happen, but I'm like letting it go to the universe of like, if it happens,
if it
great.
happens, it happens.
But goals are like, that's too much work. I already do enough stuff. So let's just let it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's one reason with me too, is I have a lot on my plate already. So I can't really commit to anything else until I get all this stuff done.
Yeah. Like I intend to be more social. Like I do a lot of stuff now, but I'm not like hanging out with people. It's more like networking stuff, like not per se hanging out with friends. So I'm trying to be better about that in the new year.
The thing is, for me, most of my work is social, so.
Correct. I'm trying to date this new year. Like, legitimately.
It's hard. It really is hard, especially in this town.
I hate dating apps. I do not like any of that. If it works for you, great. I'm too social. Like, I don't like having my cell phone. Like, when we were just outside, like, I'm not that kind of person. But my friend was like, I dare you to, like, do this. And so I made this, like, new dating app profile. So we'll see how this goes. But it's not for me. I'll probably delete it in a week. But one is trying.
Yeah, the thing is, the apps are so just impersonal. It's like, but it's not even with the profile. It's just like, like some of them, like Tinder and Chappy. It's like they expect you to make a decision left or right based on a few pictures.
Right. Well, my thing is, I obviously, yes, you look at a picture, but if you have nothing in your profile, I'm going to swipe left automatically. Yeah. Like, you think your looks just going to get you to me to talk to you? No, I need a little bit more substance.
I'm sorry, that torso can only get you so far.
Listen, you ain't going to look like that forever, boo. So I need you to understand you need to have some depth to you. So that's my 2 cents.
And it starts with the face.
Sure. Let's go with that.
But you have anything coming up that we need to talk about? Anything out of Out Youth?
We are currently working on our calendar. We're finishing up a few things. Our Austin Out Proud event, the next one, which is like our community engagement networking, that's on January 14th from 5 to 7, and that'll be at U-Ship over on Riverside.
Okay. So that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. So we're super excited. If you support Out Youth or want to hear more about Out Youth or meet the staff or the board or other volunteers, come on down to that. Info is on our website, outyouth.org. And then it'll be in the like get involved little tab.
I know, and one thing that I'm doing like on the Republic right now, since it is January and we have ML Day and Day of Service coming up, is we're putting together a volunteer guide. And I know that's why I was going to ask you if you have anything coming up.
We are very fortunate that a school out of Missouri, I want to say, a bunch of their students are coming here for a trip, and so they're going to come and do like a week's worth of volunteering with us. But I'm sure by the time MLK Day rolls back around, your girl will have something for y'all. So even if there's nothing on the website, again, outyouth.org, that catches your eye, send me an email. My info is on the website too. We are very flexible in the fact that if there's something you want to do that's not up there, we can still make it work. So you're not limited to the list.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that they probably need help with that they just don't think about.
Yeah. Because if someone else asked me to string lights outside, I don't do that. So if someone wants to come string lights for us outside or build us a stage, that's what we're trying to get. A lot of our youth are very talented, and so we have an outdoor stage that needs to be like completely redone. So if anyone out there is handy and wants to donate some time and some resources to build us a stage, that'd be great.
Cool.
Yeah.
We ready to get into the news?
I am. Am I going first?
Yeah, you go first.
For the first time ever, Nickelodeon's Double Dare features a family with two dads. The kids' cable network, Nickelodeon, recently featured its first ever male same-sex couple on its messy family game show, Double Dare, marking a groundbreaking first for the network's continued embrace of LGBTQ people. The family played under the team name Double Dads with two fathers, Liberty and Brian, and their sons, Oscar and Marcos. Liberty and Brian adopted the two boys 2 years ago. The show's host, actress, and YouTuber Liza announced the family by stating, quote, "They love football and they love each other. That's right. It's about time we had double dads on Double Dare," end quote. Liberty told Liza that he goes by Papa and Brian goes by Dad. Double Dare has been one of the network's most popular shows of all time. It features two teams who dare or double dare one another to answer trivia questions. If a Double Dare team can't answer a question, they can attempt a physical challenge, usually a messy stunt involving food, water, or slime. The team with the most points after 2 rounds proceeds to an ultra-messy obstacle course of 8 obstacles under 60 seconds, winning cash and prizes along the way. Double Dare originally ran from 1986 to 1993 with a short-lived reboot in 2000 and several live U.S. tours. Its most recent incarnation began in Pride Month 2018 and has received positive reviews as fun, lighthearted family entertainment. This isn't the first time Nickelodeon has featured a same-sex family, though. In 2016, they made network history with the first ever portrayal of a same-sex male couple on their animated series, The Loud House. In the clip, it shows two fathers humorously saying goodbye to their son at a friend's sleepover. The network also featured a younger, unmarried female same-sex couple in the 2014 conclusion of its animated action series Avatar: The Legend of Korra. These representations are a big deal considering that Nickelodeon has an estimated 1.1 million viewers. Granted, portrayals of different same-sex couples continue to dominate the network, but it's still an important step forward of mainstream visibility and acceptance of same-sex couples among younger viewers.
Good for them.
Yeah. Also, I remember Double Dare when it first.
I know. That's why I was like I grew up with Nickelodeon.
And I love this. And like they're saying, representation matters. And I think about if this would have happened when we watched it, just seeing a gay couple or a same-sex couple and just, that they're the same sort of family unit. I think the more visibility, the better, because
they have the same issues as any type.
Right. Which is interesting because in this next story, it's like two men kiss on TV and it's a whole big shebang. When the sailor kissed his husband, conservatives erupted in anger. A kiss between a gay sailor and his husband had some conservatives' blood boiling. Last week, when the USS The Sullivans returned to the naval station Mayport in Jacksonville, Florida, after a 7-month deployment, News 4 Jax aired a segment about the sailors being reunited with their families. There was a lottery among the spouses to see who got the first kiss, and Kenneth Woodington won. "I was excited and could not wait for it to happen. I knew I was going to dip him," Brian said. And he said the newlyweds' first kiss in over a year was aired in the local news last Friday. But in the week since the segment aired, the station has been inundated with negativity. How sad that your station has dropped to such a low as to show a gay couple kissing on your newscast. How many people are now trying to explain to their young kids why two men were kissing? Very disgusting. I'm sitting here with my 9-year-old granddaughter and a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old grandson watching your news at 6 p.m. And what comes on the screen? Full hugging, lip kissing between men in a Mayport reunion. What the F? One viewer suggested that airing the kiss was an attempt to be politically correct, even as they were writing an email about how offended they were by a news program reporting. Was this an effort to be politically correct? I thought this was a, quote, family-friendly news channel. The Woodingtons are well aware of negative comments since a lot of them got posted to social media. Kenneth said he doesn't really care about that much what people say, and Brian told News4Jax that some people have a different life and this is how they are. The couple has said that they've gotten plenty of positive feedback as well, as they believe that this can be a teaching moment. I, again, need to reiterate that gay couples exist.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you conservatives can't get past that.
It was really cute because his husband came out in white,
Yeah.
and they recreated the VE Day.
It was
picture.
great. It was actually a gorgeous photo. I also think they're upset because it was also a
biracial?
a queer couple.
Interracial.
Thank you. I'm like, my brain today, okay? I haven't drank in days, guys. I'm drinking a lot of water. Your girl's trying to get it together.
That's all right. I've been drinking a lot too.
Well, I'm feeding off that energy today. This one really caught my interest because we'll get there. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova attacks trans athletes on Twitter. Tennis legend Martina Navratilova posted, then removed a tweet on Tuesday claiming that transgender women should not be allowed in women's sports. Quote, clearly that can't be right. You can't just proclaim a female and be able to compete against women. There must be standards, and having a penis and competing as a woman would not fit that standard, end quote, said Navratilova. She later goes on to say, for me, it's all about fairness, which means taking every case individually. There is no cookie cutter way of doing things. Navratilova is largely considered one of the best female tennis players of all time, certainly until the dominance of the Williams sisters. She came out as bisexual shortly after becoming a U.S. citizen in 1981, and then she later came out as a lesbian. She has long been outspoken on politics as well as including LGBTQ rights. Many were quick to criticize Navratilova, including Renee Richards, a trans tennis player who made waves when she entered the sport after her transition in 1970, as well as Dr. Rachel McKinnon, a champion cyclist and transgender woman. If you say that trans women with a penis must not compete in women's sports, that's transphobic, said McKinnon on Twitter. Genitals do not play sports. What part of a penis is related to tennis? How does that, quote, level any playing field? Transgender and intersex athletes have been an issue since at least 1936 Summer Olympics, where Stella Walsh was accused of being male and had to undergo a genital inspection. After death, it was discovered that Walsh was intersex. In recent years, this has become an increasing controversy as someone else was pushed into gender testing, with many thinking that the runner was transgender or intersex. The result of such tests have never been made public. Trans athletes such as McKinnon continue to participate in sports with varying levels of success. Meanwhile, in reports cited in Cosmos, show that trans athletes show little difference between them and others in their gender. Navratilova has since deleted the tweet that caused an initial controversy. I am sorry if I said anything anywhere near transphobic. Certainly I meant no harm. I will educate myself better on this issue, but meantime I will be quiet about it, said Navratilova. Nevertheless, the tennis celeb remained defiant against what she had perceived as bullying and getting called out over her initial statement, saying that she regretted nothing in the way that she handled the situation. My issue... It's going to take a while, guys. My issue is this is what Lady and I were talking about last week, about this thing in the LGBT community of like how we're so quick to judge other people because they're not the same issue that we're going through. Also, this is the issue with the feminist movement, because feminism was this really white thing for white women who wanted to have a voice and didn't make a space for women of color to also be feminist. So it's this thing of like, just because you have this little bit of privilege still check it. Like, you still have privilege. Like, what you say matters. Neratilova, you as a queer person should have known better. I still think you're upset that Serena and Venus always wipe the floor with you, so we'll let it go this time. But yeah, I think this is completely, again, just, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know any better. No, you knew better. You knew when you said it was wrong. So I'm sorry, I don't forgive you, but thank you for your apology and try better next time.
That was a sad apology too.
Should have just pulled a Lena Dunham and just put in an article, because girl, no one wants this, but nice try. Maybe next time, because you didn't get me this time. I have a happy story. I'm back. Sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
This is a lovely one that I read over Christmas. This grandmother gave her trans grandson the most beautiful and affirming gift. The grandmother of Gabe, a 22-year-old trans masculine person, won this holiday this year, affirming their love for Gabe in the most epic way. When he was younger, his grandmother gave him a Raggedy Ann doll, complete with a classic skirt and even his birth name and a heart on the doll's chest. Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy were created in the early years of the 20th century and have remained a common, often handmade doll. They typically have a heart embroidered on their chest. Before Christmas, Gabe's grandmother asked to borrow that old Raggedy Ann doll, then for the holiday, gave it back. But the doll had changed. Gone was the skirt, replaced with the familiar blue pants of a Raggedy Andy doll. A sailor hat now resided on a shorter haircut, and across its heart, the words, "I love Gabe." So when I was a kid, I had a Raggedy Ann doll given to me by my grandmother. It had my birth name embroidered on a heart on its chest. This Christmas, my grandmother borrowed it and gave it back now with pants, shorter hair, and my new name sewn in place. "He's trans like me," said Gabe in his Twitter about the gift. He received a number of other gender-affirming gifts from his grandmother, including a pocket knife engraved with his name and a, quote, sick t-shirt that reads, "I'm Gabe doing Gabe things." And he says he's never taking it off. His post about his new doll went viral, picking up 9,500 likes and 16,000 tweets within 24 hours. The responses have shown love, an outpouring of love for Gabe and his grandmother. I love this.
Aw.
Grandma, you're the best. Grandmas are the best if they're accepting. If they're not, we're still working on them, but I'm sure they're still great. Got a lot of sleep last night, so I'm like on it.
Yeah, yes. Well, our friends in Austria have become the 26th country to allow same-sex marriage. And as two women marry at midnight, become first same-sex couple to marry in Austria. The whole town, including the mayor, got involved in making the wedding happen. The two women tied the knot just minutes after midnight in Austria, making it the first same-sex couple to get married on the day it became legal. Nicole Kopalnik and Daniela Payer, both 37, got married in the southern town of Velden at 5 minutes past midnight on January 1st. On December 2017, the Constitutional Court ruled that same-sex marriage ban was discriminatory. The government complied with the court's ruling and legislated that marriage will be available to all from January 1st, 2019. The couple were the second same-sex couple to marry. 5 couples who challenged Austria's laws in the Supreme Court got special permission to marry early. One of those couples was 2 women who had tied the knot in October last year. Wedding planners, Velden locals, and even the mayor got involved in planning the couple's big day. "Thanks to all the church officials, and especially to our registrar, that everything went so well," said the mayor, Ferdinand Baruch. "It was a great pleasure and honor for us that Nicole and Daniela got married to us." The wedding registrar, Klaus Gottwald, admitted there were some issues to iron out in the nuptials. "Although I've done this before, that wedding was a bit exciting," he said. "There are a few small obstacles, such as saying with the lawfully wedded husband, given that they have 2 wives, and he had to practice saying it all day before the wedding." It's like, things are changing one nation at a time.
Yes. Again, if America wants to get back on this bandwagon of being accepting of gay couples, that'd be great. But this is super exciting, especially in Austria, which I don't know. I'm like, they must already have it. Like, I feel like they're a more progressive country too,
right.
But the more you learn.
All right. And well, speaking of New Year's, did you hear about last night? Madonna made a special appearance at Stonewall.
I did not.
Yes, pop icon Madonna. Surprise crowds at New York Stonewall Inn on New Year's Eve. Stonewall was the site of the historic riots in '69, which triggered the modern LGBT rights movement. Last week, Stonewall named Madonna as ambassador for its 50th anniversary commemorations. Madonna kicked off her ambassador duties almost immediately with her surprise performance a few minutes after midnight. She delivered an impassioned speech about LGBTI and promoting tolerance. "I stand here proudly at the place where pride began, the legendary Stonewall Inn, on the birth of a new year. We come together tonight to celebrate 50 years of revolution," she told the excited crowd. "Let's not forget the Stonewall riots and those who stood up and said enough. Half a century later, Stonewall has become a defining moment and a critical point in history. If we truly took the time to get to know one another, we would find that we all bleed the same color, and we all need to be loved. We all need to love and be loved. Let's remember who and what we're fighting for, ourselves, for each other, but truly and most importantly, what we are fighting for. Let's take a minute to reflect on how we can bring more love and peace into 2019. Let's look at how we can bring random acts of kindness. Maybe we can find an opening to bring in light. Are you ready to do that? Following her speech, she launched an acoustic set of Like a Prayer, accompanied on guitar by her son, David. The crowd sung along enthusiastically, with Madonna eventually singing a cappella while the audience clapped along. Clearly enjoying her time on stage, Madonna chatted to the crowd after the song. She eventually decided to perform another unplanned song. This is the song Madonna loves, she told the crowd before launching into an a cappella version of Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love.
Madonna, I love you. I also love how she referred to herself as the third person. This is the song Madonna loves. I think I'm going to start doing that. Brianna really loves this song.
This is a song that Brie loves.
Brie really loves this song. So that's exciting. I don't know what I would do if Madonna walked past me on an event. I and I don't get starstruck, but Madonna, Cher, obviously Beyonce and Oprah, because they're... Oh, and Michelle Obama, but those the top right now. I don't know. So thank you, Madonna, for being an ally for so long too. Well, also because we all know the gays love Madonna.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, and Stonewall's going to be packed anyways, just for New Year's and gays.
Very true. I would have gone to Stonewall for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That would have been something, especially the 50th. I would have done that, but anything else, I'm good. I can sit out for a night.
Well, and this is one story that kind of stuck out for me. The transgender people gathered in Lahore for the first ever Trans Pride March in Pakistan this past weekend. Taking place on Saturday, December 29th, transgender people and their allies took to the streets in support of trans rights. The event kicked off with a press conference by the activists leading the march. The march itself attracted a big crowd as they took to the streets through the second most populous Pakistani city. People held signs in support of the community and waved flags as people on the street looked on. Pakistan offers more legal protections to trans people than the majority of its neighbors, though they still suffer discrimination in the community. In the Sindh province, a new bill has been drafted which will make it illegal to harass trans people in the workplace. Those convicted under the law could lose their jobs and face criminal charges. Meanwhile, a specialist hospital ward has opened designed specifically to treat transgender patients. Open in the capital of Islamabad, the transgender community are offered free treatment from specialist doctors. This came about after a high court ruling that meant all public hospitals in Punjab province must provide separate facilities for transgender patients. This is due to the difficulty trans people face in finding when they seek health care.
America, how about we take that last page of information and make these things happen?
There's a Pakistani trans pride. We don't even have trans pride here.
Yeah. Make your key. That was my big thing last year. One of my intentions was to take up more space. So I love this of it doesn't exist. We're going to create it because we are here and people need to know about us.
Right.
So yeah, way to go them. Way to go Pakistan.
Just because it isn't around doesn't mean that there isn't a need.
Correct. And there was something else I read once of just because someone else is or maybe already doing it doesn't mean that you can't come along and make it your own too. So I mean, don't let those fears of someone's already doing it or it's not.
It's an opportunity for you to be part of it. So help out.
Keep you from doing something. So yeah, 2019 is your year, guys. Let's go.
Yes. All right. You ready to take a quick break and we'll bring on Mark and Fausto?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back with more OutCast right after this.
It's a beautiful day. Just being with you.
Welcome back. Just a reminder that you're listening to OutCast on KOOP HD1, HD3 Hornsby, Austin, 91.7 FM, radio for people, not for profit, streaming live at koop.org. If you're just joining us, our friends Fausto Fernós and Marc Felion are the guys behind Feast of Fun, the daily talk show on wild news, trends, and celebrity interviews with a spicy gay twist. They join us in the studio tonight to talk about what they've been up to since their last visit here and what they got coming up here in Austin. Fausto, Mark, welcome to OutCast. There you go.
It's a pleasure to be on the show, Chase and Bree.
I know, we haven't had you back. It's been a couple years.
Unfortunately, Fausto cannot be here tonight. It's going to be Eartha Kitt.
I miss her. Let's go. Yes.
You thought that the grave could hold me back?
Never
Well,
go.
you'd be wrong. Dead wrong.
Well, welcome back. We've missed
Thank
you.
you. It's been a
Hi.
while.
Oh, I meant Eartha. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while for Eartha, too.
New year, new voice. Who's this? It's me, Eartha Kitt.
Perfect.
It's so good to be here.
Yeah,
I
we're
love
excited.
Austin, Texas is where I came of age as a drag queen.
Yes.
As a young, tender 18-year-old who people were like, there were only like 10 drag queens back in the early 90s.
So last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was you know.
Well, now you
It's
just can't
moisturizer.
turn a corner without hitting a drag queen now.
Literally.
True.
It's like, I'm going to be on Drag Race next year. Please vote for me on the website. Thanks.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So yeah, this Thursday at the Iron Bear, a bunch of beautiful queens and me are going to be, boogering it up.
Yeah,
and
that's
having fun.
because of Bulimia Rhapsody and Chick Fil host Unbearable at the Iron Bear once at the first Thursday of each month. And so you're going to join Cupcake and Sister Wives.
And Cupcake and I have a history together because I went up to her. And I was
Cupcake
like,
has just a history herself.
oh yeah, she's named after one of RuPaul's characters from the movie Star Booty.
Is that right?
My name's Cupcake. What's yours?
You got me a gift certificate?
You got to give certificate. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of these drag queens sort of are doing it for the pleasure and the joy of it. They have no aspirations of being, on that show.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of them because they have Poo Poo Platter and they do their stuff at Elysium almost monthly. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing I love about Austin's drag. There's such a variety and diversity in it.
This past year, we've been collecting incredibly strange Christmas songs for our Incredibly Strange Christmas podcast that we do at Feast of Fun.
Okay.
And they were asking me to lip sync something that was like seasonal, and I said I couldn't decide which song to do, so I did all of them. So it's a medley of about 25 different Christmas songs that you've probably never heard of, or rare little nuggets.
Okay.
And under 4 minutes.
And he knows all the words to it.
Every single one of them.
Now, let's talk about Feast of Fun. You guys
Yes.
are marking a milestone coming up, right?
It's our 15th anniversary, our 15th season of
Nice.
coming up. So we started podcasting very early on in the podcasting realm.
Before
2000.
podcasting was podcasting.
Yeah.
We first called it an online radio show. And
Yeah.
then the word podcast was kind of bandied around and people were kind of like, do we like it? Do we not like it? At that point in time, the iTunes store didn't even support podcasts, but people could manually put a podcast onto their iPod,
Right.
Back in the day.
An iPod? What's this?
Yeah, they're not even around anymore. Which again, like last week, y'all are so
I
young.
think they still have the shuffle or
The
something.
iPod Touch.
They're bringing
Yeah.
it back of you could turn your iPhone into an iPad. Like they have the shuffle buttons. It's like this thing, like a dock almost. I'm like, I was there when it first happened. I don't need it. Thank you.
It's an accessory.
Yeah, it's for the
Just like my
kids,
bra and this dress that I'm wearing right now.
which y'all can't see, but it's a lovely dress.
I'm a pretty girl on the outside and on the inside.
Yeah.
So we're excited, I mean, it's for 14 years now. We've talked to a lot of just queer people from all around the world, all different types of people, drag queens,
Oh, yeah, I mean-
activists, politicians, comedians,
And then your Cooking with Drag Queens kind of grew out of that.
Yeah, so we were having all these drag queens. But first,
Well,
drag queens are some of the artists that in our community that have been holding the candle lit for many, many years.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we first, started podcasting, we'd interview drag queens. People are like, why are you interviewing drag queens? I'm like, well, if you go out to a gay bar, who's your entertainer?
Yeah, and well, this was
Is there
before RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, this
before
is-
they became mainstream.
Way
Way
before.
before. Is there a comedian telling jokes? Is there a gay person telling up their jokes? We couldn't find gay comedians when we first started. It was really hard. But thankfully, because I think especially because of social media, more and more people are coming out, and so thankfully we have access to that. But a lot of people were still closeted.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah. Like comedians, you can never because they had trouble getting booked any place.
And so we'd have these drag queens. They would come over, even though it was an audio podcast. They'd come over dressed up in drag. Because sometimes they'd come over before their gig, and then it was just like, gosh, it was such a shame that we're like, you're here, you look so beautiful, and nobody's really seeing this except for photos. And so we're like, let's do a video. But what's the best thing to do for a video? And so Fausto was just like, let's do a little cooking show.
Because I've always had, I've been a little cooking
Maniac.
Growing up watching Julia Child on television, Martha Stewart, all those gorgeous things. And so I said, let's make the food as extravagant and delicious as your drag.
Yeah.
And Cooking with Drag Queens came about that. And for now we've been doing it for about 7 years, that series. Often imitated, never duplicated.
And we have a new season coming up. We have some fabulous guest stars coming up. We have T.S. Madison, who you might know from Facebook.
Let's clarify. This is a exclusive.
Yes.
No one knows about this until now. So this is news.
And T.S. doesn't identify as a drag queen, but she kind of occupies that same entertainment space that a lot of drag queens do. And so she loves drag, and she goes to like drag con and drag festivals. And
Yeah,
so
I think
like,
she was here for Pride last year.
Yeah, and so we're like, come on the show. And she's actually been on twice, so she's a return guest. I love a return guest.
We're making fried spaghetti ball.
big balls.
Big balls.
And you on your diet.
I know. I'm like thinking about. I'm like, oh.
You can take
pasta.
leftover spaghetti and clump it up into a ball and dip it in egg and breadcrumbs and fry that. It is so
It is
great.
so good.
She's like,
It
shut
is
up,
so
I'm
good.
hungry.
New diet. I can't.
And of course, Erica Clash from Dragula, RuPaul's Drag Race alumni Jade, and Monica Beverly Hills.
So we have two at the same time.
Two at the same time.
Because they're two girls that came up together in the Chicago drag Latin trans scene.
Latinx. It rhymes with Kleenex. And of course, Camp Wanakiki's Muffy Fish Basket and the legendary Peaches Christ
Yeah.
Yes, from
Muppet
San
Fish
Francisco.
Basket.
from San Francisco. See, I always try to work the word she into everything.
Yeah. This sounds like a party. This podcast.
Oh, it's
It
a lot of
sounds
fun.
so much
A lot of good
fun.
food too.
But there's
It's a feast
love
of
in
fun.
talking
it.
about the food.
It's a feast of fun.
Just send me the pictures and I can just drool about the food.
Well, it's you just have to like pick your battles. You're like, okay, I won't eat this today, but I'll eat it tomorrow.
The hardest thing about doing a cooking show with drag queens is that and a lot of people might not realize this, is that you do the dishes over and over again to rehearse them.
Right.
So when you're doing it in front of a camera, it's not like, oh, I guess I need marinara sauce to serve with those fried spaghetti balls.
Yeah.
And so we're eating everything like 3 or 4 times
Oh, wow.
beforehand, and so if it's a big delicious cake, that's kind of
Yeah.
the cake.
Listen, I have a
Bouche
neighbor
Noel.
who likes to eat, so thankfully
Yeah.
it's like, here, have some food.
We
Have
did a
some food.
Bouche Noel with Katya Zamolochikova from RuPaul's Drag Race before she became this international sensation that she is. And we had to make that cake about 4 times. And the first 2 times it fell apart. And so we make it look so easy and effortless, but it was, it actually is a challenge. And as much as a cooking school for us as it is for the
Yeah.
girls.
That's exciting. That's also such a fun thing to do, like you're saying. Like that's such a different way to do an interview.
Bring
too.
cooking and drag together.
Yeah.
And the biggest challenge is trying to get the drag queens to do stuff with their hands when they have these big
Oh,
giant
I
nails
was thinking
on.
that. I was like, I don't, as you see, I have very short nails because I just can't but bless. That's exciting.
Yeah, we tell them, it's like, please take off your jewelry.
Well, you're
please take off
dating
your
now,
nails.
right? So you need short
I'm-
nails,
I-
right?
Oh.
I'm trying to date. We shall see.
Yeah.
I always try to get my phone number out on the air, and I feel like Chase just cuts it off. So,
Really? You actually try to get...
I always jokingly say you can reach me at 203.
I'm like,
and
no.
Well, you guys are on Instagram and social media, so if the fans of the show do want to
Yeah.
reach out to you,
I'm there.
feast of fun,
I like a lovely evening.
and
Mostly a dinner.
Long walks in the woods.
Well, no.
No.
That's how you get.
That's how you. That's how you
I
get
listen to
murdered.
That's how you
Too
end up
many-
in the river.
I listen to too many true crime things, so nothing after dark. I want a day date where there are witnesses around.
Make sure they're witness.
Yeah, but
get
I
those pictures
like,
in.
Let's go see I would love to go to a show, like something cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less
maybe-
chance of being murdered if you're not at home.
That's the only place they happen. is
aren't you
that.
glad you tuned in to KOOP?
How to
Today-
not get killed.
How to survive
How to survive
murder.
dating? Yeah.
How to survive dating in Austin. It's
Yeah.
murder.
Yeah. Listen, it's hard out there.
I know we were talking about this earlier. I was like, oh, it really is hard.
It's
How hard is it, Chase?
It's very hard. I know. I mean, and the thing is, like, we were talking about it because, like, I tend to date younger guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and the
Well,
thing
that's
is,
all there is left anymore.
I know
right?
that's the whole thing is, all the older
If they're
ones.
older, they're dead.
Hey. Well, no, but
Speak
like,
for yourself.
but I mean, I'm 45, so most of the guys I go out with are like 15 to 20 years younger than me,
Yeah.
and it feels so awkward. Yes.
Wow.
Did
You
not
actually
know.
take them out of the house?
I'm done.
You sign them out at the nurse's office. He'll be back at 10 o'clock.
I know, and it's so weird because because what I do when I'm out, I don't really think about how young they are until we start talking. Then I realize I have nothing in common with
They
you.
don't know who I Dream of Jeannie is. They don't know who Maud is. You're like, they don't
Rude.
get your Golden Girls
There
references.
was TV Land when I was young. Thank you. It was there. I Dream of Jeannie, always a bop. Bewitched is always better, though. Let's not forget.
It is a better show.
Let's not.
You know, she was a producer for that show, but she was not. They didn't use her name on the credits because she was a woman.
Yeah, they
and
don't
they
want women.
wouldn't accept it.
Elizabeth
And
Montgomery.
the original Darren got fired because he was an alcoholic and manhandled her, and she said, "Get him out of here."
Dick York.
Oh, yeah, how they just conveniently switched them out.
No one noticed at all.
She
They
just
looked
blinked. She should have been like, "I don't like the way you look today." Blink.
That should have been Endora.
Her mother was my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite character.
She was alleged to be queer.
Oh.
Pandora.
Agnes Moorehead. And actually, the pilot
That sounds like a
episode
drag name.
had a lot of queer metaphors there. So, the character of Samantha Stevens, played by Elizabeth Montgomery, was trying to sort of, she had a relationship that the mother did not approve of, right? And so, if you think about Elizabeth Montgomery's character as being queer and the mother sort of being, heteronormative, then the show really becomes really interesting.
I never thought of it that way.
And that was actually pretty overt, the casting of Agnes Moorehead and a lot of queer comedians.
All the supporting cast were all gay.
Paul Lynde, Uncle Arthur.
Yes. Also the best character on the two of them.
My feet are killing me. And then, guns come out and they start shooting at him.
No, he played that through Hollywood Squares for so long.
Yeah. I forget how good that show was.
That's why I try to, in my drag, I try to channel a lot of these interesting people from LGBT history.
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt,
Teach
Paul
these-
Lynde.
Yeah, you gotta teach these kids something.
Well, it's just, you know what is, because they don't know who these people are, you can get away with stealing their material.
They're like, this is new and fresh. Like, no, it isn't.
He's so funny.
Well,
I'm perfect.
As a person who knows what Bewitched is, I fully support this stuff because, yeah, I'm like such an old soul. So my parents were 25 when they had me. So I grew up adjacent to their age. My mom's youngest sister is 10 years older than me. So I was always around conversation and people and TV shows. And so I always sponged that up, which I think is why I have such a joy of these older shows, which is also why I probably hate dating on apps because I'm I don't want this phone conversation. I would like a face-to-face situation.
Well, I do feel, Bri, that in 2019, people are sort of moving away from online and app-based dating, and they're wanting real-world interaction. We're going back to,
the 90s.
Brick and mortar is the new internet.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Come on. I'll be your first go around. My number 203.
You and your Connecticut number.
Yeah, listen, I'm never gonna change it. My East Coast still slips through every now and again. I'm trying to be more Texas.
More Texas.
More Texas. But
Well, speaking of here in Texas, let's talk about your show this week.
Yes. I'm kind of like Madonna doing a surprise appearance at the Stonewall. And she did that last night.
Yes.
Did you guys see a video of it? Mm-hmm. People are like, oh my God, Madonna can actually sing.
They forgot.
And I'm actually singing myself too. So I'm doing the lip sync number in the first half, and in the second half of the show, I'm actually
Mark,
singing.
are you gonna be the background the guitar?
I'm gonna be a part of the show in some respect.
It's some part.
So what I do is I have because I like the audience to interact, and so I have people in the audience planted as sing along.
love it.
So everyone's like, how the hell do they know this song? And I'm like, well, it's because 20 of my friends I just planted.
It's the fan circuit. No. You guys have a following. That's
yeah. And I'm a demon, with the fiddle, but with the kazoo.
Got it.
And I just play it and just destroy the audience, and they're left winded. My New Year's resolution is I want everybody to have more oxygen in their body, and they start by inhaling. Feels so good.
Yeah, that changes everything.
Yeah,
You're right.
Absolutely. Because Christmas is the drag queen of holidays. It has way too much glitter. Everything's loud and in your face. And when something goes wrong, it's hilarious.
And Fausto's Puerto Rican too, so they celebrate Christmas. They do the full 12 days. Christmas is not over until January 6th.
No.
And even then, it might still not be over.
Well, let me put it this way. My birthday's in April. When I was a kid, we would take down the Christmas tree to get ready for my birthday party in April.
Yeah.
And it was brown.
Sounds about right.
And we're like, this brown is beautiful. We're like, can't we just keep the tree up all year long? And when I found out that Americans had plastic trees, I was like, why don't you get one of those? We can have it all year long.
Yeah.
It'll stay green all the time.
My friend has one he never takes down. Like, he has a Christmas tree all year round. Like, he refuses to take it down.
Is he just being lazy? He doesn't want to take it down?
No. He's like obsessed with Christmas and has like one tree all year round.
My friend went into recovery about 15 years ago because she decided one night after a wild night of doing everything you could possibly do that she was going to celebrate Christmas in July. So she set up her whole, like, all of her Christmas stuff, and then she woke up like the next day and she's just like, I need help. I need help.
The thing about
a Christmas
it is,
miracle. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
do you guys all dressed up in women's shoes here, right? We're all not strangers to high heels.
Right.
Sadly, no.
And they're painful, especially for me. You know, I'm a thick and juicy girl. I'm 210 pounds. You know, I'm not a lightweight. And so when I put my big man feet into those tiny little shoes, I'm in pain. So the thing about it is like I have to like sneak in by going to the gig in tennis shoes, and right before I go on stage, I put on the little things. But Mink Stoll from John Waters' films, you know, Pink Flamingo, Hairspray and stuff, she said to me, feminism is the right to wear whatever you want on your feet and still feel like a beautiful woman.
Aww.
So I might just do the tennis shoes.
Just go barefoot.
Or something like that. You know.
It's Iron Bear. They don't care.
Not too.
And
That's what I love about that place.
Yeah.
What's the perfect
Yeah,
time
just
for
don't
a
try to go
show?
down that back stairwell in heels.
I might do it. Is there like a secret back room where people have a little fun?
No, just the bathrooms are downstairs.
Oh.
You have to walk.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to go down those stairs in heels.
Because I've been down there, you know. I'm an
just a
entertainer.
pool
I'm a
room.
people person, and I like to drink.
Don't we all? Well, and so for people who want to go, it is Thursday,
Yes.
the 3rd. It starts at 10:30 and goes on to 1:30, right?
Yeah, we basically, you know, we do it until we get kicked out of the place. They say this like, you know, ladies, the show's over, and we're like, but the show continues in your heart and mind. Yeah, but actually, Bohemian Rhapsody and certainly like Chick Fellatio and, you know, all these other girls are just really, really fun. As Crystal Connor said in Showgirls, I only hope it can be as good as the show.
So diplomatic. Yeah. This is exciting. I want to try to come. I don't think I have plans on Thursday, so.
Well, and
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A has a new place at their Hive Mind. They have a salon that's also an event space too.
Nice.
So they have shows throughout the week.
I learn so much when I'm here every week.
I know.
So much
Drag is
education.
expanding.
That's why you do a show like this.
Yeah,
so
so
you
much
learn.
education. Yeah.
Well, I'm wrapping myself up in, you know, Christmas wrapping paper that I got on sale at those, you know, big box
clearance?
stores on clearance. And I was like, you know, when you unwrap it, you get a little surprise. In my case, a big one.
Not that big.
Maybe I won't date men this year. Every time I come in here, I'm like, you know.
Could happen. All right, you guys. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us.
Wait. Mark was on Alt for Norga.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a couple minutes. We have
Norway.
like just
Okay,
a few
sorry.
minutes. We got like 3 or 4 minutes left.
go.
Yeah, come on.
Oh,
yeah.
so I was on a reality TV show. You can check it out at dplay.com.
And you were like stuck in Norway for like
I was
how long?
in Norway for 48 days. So I did a reality TV show called Alt for Norge, which means everything for Norway. It's not associated with the alt-right at all. And they take 12 Americans of Norwegian descent back to Norway, and they put them through challenges based on language, culture, and history. And the winner got $50,000 and the chance to win their or to meet their Norwegian relatives. But I think what's really funny about Norway is Norway uses the word Texas to mean crazy. So if they say something's crazy, they say it's
Kinda like we use Florida.
It's Texas.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like we use Florida
it's-
here.
Exactly.
Like my drag sensibilities are very Texas.
Very.
That's exciting.
Very. It
So
was
like
exciting. It was fun.
what kind of challenges were?
One was like pretty much like a scavenger hunt. Another time they put us through like this obstacle course. One time we went to this place where like everybody does something very slow. Like they're like, just be slow, enjoy your life, slow living. So they had this elderly man do some things, and we had to do it as close to his time
wow.
as possible.
Live like a Norwegian for a day. I think I'd like that. Just taking your time.
Which
I
is,
feel like they all talk like this.
you know, every interaction we had with Norwegians was almost always awkward.
Oh.
It was just, you know, they all spoke English, but they spoke it kind of awkwardly.
It's like that Saturday Night Live skit, Noonie and Noonie. You know,
Yeah.
they're like,
Yes.
you guys are so crazy, so Texas. It's so wild.
But it was quite an experience, yeah.
Nice. Well, check it out.
Yes.
dplay.no.
dplay.no.
It does sound like an adult site,
I
but
know.
it's
That's
not.
what, like .no. It's
The
like,
NO
no?
stands for Norway.
Norway.
Yeah. And D stands for Discovery.
Okay.
D play. Well, that still sounds like an adult site, but it's not.
You're not making this better.
It's wholesome.
not.
It's very wholesome. Although you do get to see my butt crack a lot in the show for whatever reason.
If you need any more incentive.
I mean, if y'all could see what I could see.
I think I showed more skin than anybody else on that show.
All right, folks. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
We had
so
to take
much
a
for
quick
having
break.
us. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Love you.
We'll be right back with more OutCast right after this.
Support for OutCast is provided by the Alice Clayburgh Reynolds Foundation. More information at akrfoundation.org.
That's all the time left we have this week on OutCast. There's more KOOP with alternative radio streaming live at koop.org, or you can stay tuned for KVRX right here on 91.7 FM. Be sure to join us again next week on OutCast. Until then, for myself and Bri Jenkins, reminding you to keep Austin queer.